Hey guys, it's Jet 888 here. It's January 12th, and I guess they have to make up for their yesterday's January 11th screw up at the FAA. There's your 3 E's there. You got the electrification, EMFs, and electric. Everything to keep you down. Anyhow, let's go inside. I'm going to talk about the FAA yesterday and the fact that they screwed up so much that they left thousands pretty much unable to travel. Now, the FAA is a government entity, and even though it was their screw up, admittedly, their system screwed up, they are making the airlines, aka the passengers, pay for the FAA's screw up. So because the airlines are contracted to have to reimburse the passengers if for any reason their flights are canceled or messed up in some way. So the FAA, who is working with the, I think it's the AAB, let me make sure I've got that right, but the AAB, which is no, here it is. Sorry, it's the AAM. So the Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA, is contracting and cooperating with Korea Office of Civil Aviation, which is Coca Cabana. They are agreeing to cooperate and collaborate on AAM projects. Now, AAM is NASA. And you know who else is working with NASA on their SpaceX? Isn't this interesting? SpaceX leader reassured NASA chief about Elon Musk. Here's NASA administrator chats with Elon Musk of SpaceX. So you've got SpaceX with Elon Musk partnering with the USA's FAA, that's a .gov site, with Korea on advanced air mobility certification. Here's just an idea about what advanced air mobility looks like, AAM, and I'll read some of this to you. It says, AAM is a new concept of air transportation using electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft to move people and cargo between places not currently or easily served by surface transportation or existing aviation modes. So as the FAA shut down the airlines yesterday, even military flights, now you've got the AAM coming in saying, hey, we can do it. Well, you know, you've got problems and stuff with your moving people and cargo between places not easily served by surface transportation or existing aviation. Existing aviation wasn't working because the FAA messed up, and they're now competition. The airlines are now the competition here of AAM and NASA, who seem like they're going to be the ones to benefit from all the failure of the air travel from the commercial planes, from the commercial airlines. So we see here, and who knows, this could be a huge distraction, but it's showing all these airlines that were affected by the FAA system outage, and the airlines have to pay for it, and yet the FAA is now going into business with South Korea and NASA. So as they begin highlighting all the failures of the the aircraft agencies, like the commercial airlines, remember when that employee got sucked into, and they used the word ingested, into the engine? So this just happens just like less than a week before all this big old fiasco shut down. So they're planting the seed in the public's eye of how screwed up the airlines are, so they can come in and take over. You've got this airport worker killed by being ingested. This word that they use, ingested, and it just wasn't one media company, because you know they all work together. Here's another one, American airline ground worker killed, ingested into the engine. Here's another one, ingested into the engine. They're using the same wording because you remember Klaus Schwab mentions the stakeholders, and now we have the coronavirus, which is carnivorous. And here's your American Airlines 423 and Corona IT on. So their information, their technology is literally screwing things up. So they're highlighting these pedophile, people-eating commercial airline aircraft so they can get the public to think, oh yeah, there's a better option. Let's go with NASA and FAA, which the FAA already screwed up. I don't know why people, maybe they don't see that, but this is the airplane, an Embraer 170 operated by Envoy Air, which is subsidiary of American Airlines, and the employee was a Piedmont Airlines employee. And here's an anagram for Embraer, ram beer or beer arm, like the Corona Needlecraft beer arm. And that also, that word in gematria, gates, life and death, and offering. So they offered up this employee, it's to start their little ritual of taking down all the airlines. And the numerical equivalent also of Embraer also happens to be Kofifi. And here also the FAA is making people register their drones, which is sort of weird because I think that that's a violation of the Fifth Amendment, isn't it? That you shouldn't have to register any of your private property. But anyhow, they're going to bring in the bucks on that one. So you should go check out their website, faa.gov. Cooperating with Korea Office of Civil Aviation, KOCA, to partner on future advanced mobility AAM aircraft. That's drones. You know what the drones can do? You know, the ability of the drones? They can definitely and will be used against you in military, in a military fashion. I can guarantee you that. And you know how they always feign protecting you. It says, what's with the military explosion of drones here, or the sudden, I guess, interest in drones? This is military drones keep more ground troops out of harm's way by delivering reconnaissance. Right. If they were really interested in keeping the military, our military out of harm's way, they wouldn't have done the needle crafting on them. So don't buy that lie. And the AAM is also using the hybrid electric systems, batteries, or potentially hydrogen fuel cells. It seems like something that Elon Musk has also been involved in regarding the AAM's plans, aka NASA. Here's that word again, underserved communities. Are they talking about the pedo islands that you know they need to access? I don't know. Can these carry a small child? I don't know. So the FAA's latest news here, starting down here, December 21st, FAA Santa team up for holiday safety. Santa and Satan can be looked at as an anagram. Then on December 23rd, pilots and air traffic controllers may receive Johnson & Johnson's needlecraft with appropriate precautions. The only precaution I can think of is to just say no. And here's January 9th. There's your U.S. FAA, Korea to partner on advanced air mobility certification operations. And January 10th. Now let's see, when was that digestion of the employee into the engine was on, I think either, well, it wasn't New Year's, I don't think so, January 2nd. It seems like that's the 9 days ago. Well, that was, so 10 days ago, they ingested someone, an employee, unnamed, no, not even letting you know if it's a male or female, so who knows if it really happened, but it was an event that got some people's attention. So that happened on, before this meeting with the US FAA and the AAM to cooperate. Let's see, January 10th. Oh, now they want to proposed rule mandating use of program to detect, mitigate risk early. And then yesterday, January 11th, that's 111, the FAA is continuing a thorough review to determine the root cause of the NOTAM system outage. That's NOTAM, that's a notice to airmen, notice to airmen, notice to air missions is a notice filed with an aviation authority to alert aircraft pilots of potential hazards along with a flight route or at a location that could be affected, that can affect the flight. And you notice airmen is also marine. That's an anagram, airmen and marine. So here's our U.S. State Department of Transportation's website, FAA, and here's the drones. The future of aviation is here. The FAA collaborates with industry and communities to advance drone operations and integrate them into the national airspace. Whether you are flying for fun or work, get the rules, resources, and tools to help you fly safely. Again, it's under the guise of being safe. And here's the drone. Look at, is that a camera? Yep, sure is. There's the anagram for American. It's in camera. We should have known that and seen that coming. Isn't this kind of strange though? Look at this word, FAA NOTAM. It looks like it could say phantom. Let's look at this a little closer. FAA NOTAM. So there, FAA NOTAM is AA Phantom, and you look at that, and it's Phantom 11. So here's their statement. The FAA is continuing a thorough review to determine the root cause of the notice to air missions NOTAM system outage. Our preliminary work has traced the outage to a damaged database file. At this time, there's no evidence of a cyber attack yet, because they don't want you to have any reservations about having more AI or more 5G networks. The FAA is working diligently to further pinpoint the cause of this issue and take all needed steps to prevent this kind of disruption from happening again. They are the disruptors, though. They're the disruptors. It's the Hegelian dialectic. They cause the problem, and then all of a sudden, then they come up with the solution. Here you've got their Advanced Air Mobility Mission Overview. And how do you like this? So this is on NASA's, it's nasa.gov, and look at this. Here's their M. See the M? They land there. There's their M building. And you know what I thought that M meant? So mountaineers, that's what I think the M means, mountaineers. So that could be numerate ions, so like count ions. And you know, if you look really quickly about these ions, like I don't know if I should show this on here, but this says an atom or atom. This is an ion. Is an atom or atom group electrically, there's one of your E's, charged by the loss or gain of electrons, represented by a plus or minus sign. One of the electrically charged particles formed in a gas by electric discharge. This one site said other potential downsides of absorbing too many positive ions include higher inflammation levels, mood swings, chronic pain, worsened allergies, and more. I mean, just go check out, just search. There's even PubMed here. Wow, they're giving us all kinds of information today, aren't they? This is effects of electromagnetic fields on neuronal ion channels. It says here, we systematically clarify how neuronal ion channels are particularly affected and differentially modulated by EMFs at multiple levels. You know, your phones emanate just the EMF, so you got to watch that, such as gating dynamics, ion conductance, whatever. Here, so you can look at this. I'll leave this link. There's only an abstract here. 2021 effective electromagnetic fields. I'm going to go way down here. Sorry about the, say they affect your central nervous system. At the very bottom it says ion channels represent a major transducer for EMF related effects on the CNS, that's central nervous system. And here's the original article, so I'll leave this link too. So May 2021. But back to the anagram for mountaineers. And I got here because of the NASA site showing you these drones, and then they show this big M landing pad and M on the side of the building. So mountaineers is also enumerations. And isn't that interesting? There's your little Microsoft. But this says enumeration. An enumeration is a complete ordered listing of all the items in a collection. Now this is a game that they do play. I covered this long time ago about the Holocaust collection of wedding rings and stuff like that from some of the people that fell victim to that. But the term is commonly used in mathematics and computer science to refer to a listing of all the elements of a set. It's part of their game. They count everything. The precise requirements for an enumeration depend on the discipline of study and the context of a given problem. You know, they're going to use sensor takers also to do this counting stuff. So census taker, someone who collects census data, there's your data word, by visiting individual homes. Enumerator, functionary, official. And this is interesting. Listen to this censor definition. A person who supervises conduct and morals, such as an official who examines materials, such as publications or films, or maybe videos, private videos that people try to share information for objectionable matter. Now that's objective though. Objectionable, that's objective. Government censors delete all references to the protest was one of their examples. An official, as in time of war, who reads communications such as letters and deletes material considered sensitive or harmful. Again, that's objective, and it's if you don't go with the agenda, they're going to come after you. One or two magistrates of early Rome acting as census takers, assessors, and inspectors of morals and conduct, as they've signed the Noahide laws too. If you want to look into that, you should do it. Every president has signed the Noahide laws from, is it Eisenhower? That's going to be real troubling because if you, well, whatever, we'll get into it, but the penalty of that is severe, like beheading. So that's just my personal opinion. I have just what I see. NASA here showing their M, that they copy and trace and track everything. They count everything. That's why they have to know everything that you purchase. That's why they want you to get away from cash. Isn't that weird though, that M? And again, here we're at the FAA website here. Their statements on 5G as of Friday, June 17th. They say 5G C-band update. Key stakeholders. There's your stakeholders. The steak, like meat, like body sacks that they're considering you. But key stakeholders in the aviation and wireless industries have identified a series of steps that will continue to protect commercial air travel, as they shut down yesterday, from disruption, as they shut down yesterday, by 5G C-band interference, while also enabling Verizon and AT&T to enhance service around certain airports. So now you've got the FAA and the telecommunication companies obviously are apparently working together. You might want to read this. Oh, and this is weird because look at this. The FAA now, they've changed things up because I was here yesterday and they're cutting out one of their main guys. He must have been getting some flack because now they've got their leadership. They've got Bill Nolan here now. He was not here. I'm going to show you what I got yesterday. Oh, here they are. Okay. I thought they took them down, but it's interesting. They kind of tucked little Pete Buttigieg out. And so I was pointing him out yesterday in my video that I don't know if I'm going to do. I'll just use this one. But notice the word trans in the background. Yep, they're sticking with their agenda. And one more thing I wanted to show you. So we know how the FAA is an arm for the government, United States Department of Transportation. this is an official website of the United States government, but yet out of all their people, what is vacant is the Assistant Administrator of Government and Industry Affairs. I don't even see the head government industry administrator. And this is interesting. Paul Fontaine, Assistant Administrator, Acting, Next Gen. So he is responsible for championing the evolution of the National Airspace System, NAS. You flip that around and it's NSA, the people who hold all of our data. So it also says he provides strategic direction and execute executive oversight to more than 800 federal employees in the Office of Next Gen. That's A&G, and is responsible for implementing the air transportation systems modernization and delivering overall, I'm just skipping, advancement of aviation. So Next Gen. And that's kind of funny because Star Trek is the next generation. And of course they have a movie about it. It's funny. It says a friendship with a top secret robot turns a lonely girl's life into a thrilling adventure as they take on bullies, evil bots, and scheming madmen. So their mission is to provide the safest, most efficient aerospace system in the world. Now, when I think of aerospace, I think of NASA and stuff like that. I don't really think of airlines, but I know it's the same. They cover the same stuff, but airline, like commercial airline, seems very different than aerospace. Their mission is to continue to provide the safest, most efficient aerospace system in the world. Right after the FAA, their system, they had a system outage, screwed up all kinds of people. And just 9 days before that, or 10 days before that, an airplane worker was ingested into the engine, even though I think that's a false flag. So also when they talk about providing the safest, most efficient aerospace system in the world, their shutdown yesterday also affected the military because it grounded military planes as well. So I'm going to look at January 11th. Just the numerology of it is 111. Kissinger, as in Henry Kissinger, is also 111. And look at his name, the first letters of his name, K-I-S-S. Remember that K-S-S-I-N-G little song? 11-9, so you flip that around, it's 9-11, and there's your SS. SS is A-I-A-I. Oh, and his numerology for him too, he's also 666, just to let you know. And I saw an article, or not an article, it's a document, telecom between Elliot Richardson and Henry Kissinger. And this was by Elliot Richardson. He actually backed out of the whole Nixon thing. He didn't want to collaborate with them. But this is a document, I'll leave this. It's a telecon, Elliot Richardson, March 12, 1970. It's been declassified. And so they were talking, the R is Richardson, that's Elliot Richardson, and the K is Kissinger. And he goes, they didn't get the important papers done. I'm just going through a series of cats and dogs. It's funny because cats and dogs in Jewish gematria is 390, and so is the rabbit hole is 390. I just thought that's funny. It's also Ukrainian is also 390. This is going through cats and dogs. Freedom to, I think it's MIGs, I'm not sure what that says, or Mike, but he also talks here about land mobiles. So land mobile system is a person-to-person voice communication system consisting of two-way radio transceivers, which can be stationary, mobile, or portable. Public land mobile radio systems are made for use exclusively by public safety organizations such as fire or police, fire, and ambulance services. So only special people. Other governmental organizations like FEMA, and use special frequencies reserved for these services. So they have special frequencies. He also mentions qualitative restrictions and nuclear accidents. Nuclear. We have to have a meeting next week on MIRV, ABM, and SAM upgrades. So here's MIRV is multiple independently targetable reentry vehicles. Multiple independently retargetable reentry vehicle is an exo-atmospheric ballistic missile payload containing several warheads, each capable of being aimed to hit a different target. The concept is almost invariably associated with intercontinental ballistic missiles carrying thermonuclear warheads, even if not strictly being limited by them. So those are MIRVs. And the ABMs is anti-ballistic missiles. And this says ballistic missiles are used to deliver nuclear, chemical, biological, or conventional warheads. So are we seeing enough of that lately? Anyhow, I'll leave you this. It's only a 2-page conversation. It's kind of interesting. So they're talking about the problem of upgrading avian system. But I just know that Kissinger was part of the whole depopulation plan. Let me back up. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm assuming there's some force in state CIA's and ACDA's argument regarding the risk of SAM upgrade. Anyhow, it's kind of interesting. So continuing down here too, Kissinger talks about the SA-5. It's, let's see, I made them back up. They told me they discovered some radars which make sense only with the SA-5. So just looking really quickly at SA-5 Gammon at a glance, originated from Soviet Union, or sorry, let me see. And here we go. SA-5 may refer to SA-5 Gammon, the NATO reporting name for Soviet S-200 surface-to-air missile SA Apollo. The first launch of the block Saturn. I'm going to skip part of the Apollo program. There's your NASA again. Film SLR camera by Sigma Corporation. So it's a camera. I haven't looked into this so much. That's why I'm kind of like, I don't really know what the SA-5 is, but it also says a song by American singer Beck from the 1997 Dead Weight Signal. Dead weight. Is that like useless eaters or non-essential? That's kind of funny because Beck, I think Beck, like build Beck better with the camera. Dead weight signal. Could be signal. Just for fun, we're looking at that. Dead weight, Beck. Interesting little triangle with one eye. And you know those formations in the sky I've been seeing lately that I've been showing? The rays that are coming down? I showed it. If you look at my community page, you'll see that. But you got those little ray looking things, and then there's dead weight. And here it's single by Beck. It could be signal. I mean, it looks like that. And a life less ordinary. Oh, so that's interesting. So this movie, the song was nominated. There was the song. So the song was nominated for Best Song from a Movie at the 1998 MTV Movie Awards, but lost to Will Smith's Men in Black instead. The song can be found in the deluxe version of Beck's Fifth. There's your 5-star. Okay, back to work. Beck recorded Dead Weight with Dust Brothers between Odelay and Mutations. So just going through this is kind of interesting. So Erase the Sun and SA-5. So the remaining 2 tracks on the signal is Erase the Sun and SA-5. provide direct links to mutations with lyrical fragments that would end up almost word for word in future songs. Huh, isn't that kind of interesting? Okay guys, I'm going to wrap it up. So Wizard of Oz and talking about the yellow brick road will be my next video. Don't forget to look up